Yeah, Amos saw the storm before we felt the rain. Does your judgment don't miss nobody? Not then, not now. Oh, oh. From Zion came that voice, heavy like a lion's roar. Most High calling out the nation, settling every score. Gaza, Damascus tide, he said, I remember what you done. Fire gon' meet your strongholds when the reckoning comes. Ain't no hiding from the truth when the trumpet begins. He said, for 3 transgressions, and yeah, for 4 I ain't holding it in. Judgment rolling in like thunder on the plain. Ain't no peace when wicked men keep playing with.
Look at them, huddled in the cold.
Plantation. 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation.
Rejoice in tribulations, demonstrate patience in every situation, picking up the pieces to their heart restoration. People broken hearted and in need of salvation. We in captivity, we done lost our history. Disconnected from his laws, now there's no integrity. Here's the book and let them see, because they dying in these streets. Walking in darkness and where the carcass is, the eagles be. Walking in darkness and where the carcass around us like vultures. Murder on their mind when they approach us. Let your light shine, watch them scatter like roaches. Babylon falling cause we taking back our culture. Heal our land, Abba now, put us back in agriculture. This word burning them up, Romans is a flamethrower. We prophesy destruction, nukes coming, game over. International, continental, ballistic missile. Them bombs dropping like rain, no drizzle. The lake of fire make them sizzle. Showing fruits of the spirit, we don't gather figs of thistles. That's the dog, you know, so just like you were saying.
Hey, my name is Amani Bright Laws. I'm a travel business owner. My business is Always Shine Bright Travel, where we help you discover your next bright destination. I want to talk to you really quickly today about becoming a travel business owner. Listen, if your passion is traveling, if your passion is exploring the world, if your passion is wanting to travel and explore the world, then you should become a travel business owner, okay? I have 2 easy ways to get started. less than 1 minute, okay? The first way, up here, our website, travelagentworkshop.com. And please use my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? The second way is a text code. Text the word workshop to the number 281-767-9711. And again, reference my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? Listen, the workshop is free. It's a free 3-day workshop, which gives you all the information on how to get started to become a travel business owner, okay? Any questions that you have will get answered within that workshop, okay? So let me meet you on the money-making side of travel, where you can turn your passion into your paycheck.
Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy, Chef D-Nail, over here at Guess Who's Cooking. Good cooking, good eating, good living. Y'all know how we do it every Sunday about this time, man. We're going to get straight to it. We got the chicken and dumplings, all right? We got the perch fish with the mac and cheese, with the yams, with the 5 cheese toast over here on the Texas side. And of course, we got the world famous turkey tips, all right? We also got, on this one, we got the greens with the turkey tails, and we got the spaghetti. You already know what time it is, man. Hit the link, 773-992-4737 is the phone number to place your order every Sunday, all right? And you can hit us up on the Cash App to make payments at Guess Who's Cooking, the number 2. All right. You can hit the www.guesswho'scooking on the World Wide Web. You can catch us on Facebook Marketplace under Guess Who's Cooking. And, of course, on TikTok, man, at Guess Who's Cooking. Come on down. Get your orders.
Shame I give you peace from underneath. Give me mind and being light to reignite. Can you open up the doors to let me in? Can you open up the doors to let me in? You could put the heart inside, don't tell my head. As I sing the love inside from out my mouth. Tell me what you need to find. Tell me now. Tell me what you need to find.
I know who I am today. You can't lie to me no more. I'm a child of the Most High. And you the devil, the Bible speaks of. Set my people free. Yeah. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. Let them go. Let them go. Tell you the truth, this ain't living. Cause every time we step outside, it's attempted suicide, drive-bys and homicide. It's the everyday norm. Welcome to the eye of the storm, where we at war from the day we born to the day we die. Surrounded in the flesh, drowning in these lies from these white guys with these evil eyes towards our own kind, committing genocide. Sliding down the block, let a Glock pop, another brother gone. Tell me when it's gonna stop, cause it's so wrong. But Deuteronomy 28 and 54 will let you know it's all a curse. Plus, we've been systematically played against each other. Only way to conquer a nation is basic. Hope you realize the truth and face it. With the children of Jacob and his kingdom we taking. But this generation will never make it. We don't repent and turn back to the Most High as a nation. I know who I am today. And you can't lie to me no more. I'm a child of the Most High. And you the devil, the Bible speaks of. Set my people free. Yeah. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free.
All these other nations ever did was rape, robbed, and murder us. Now generation after generation, we born into a sea of lies. But all praise to the Most High for opening up my eyes, and now I see the truth. Got me feeling magnificent. Yes, they hate us cause the drip is sick, but tell you the truth, if it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't have shit. We that season it, boy. Yeah, the salt of the earth, and it's apparently clear through every verse. So it's Kwam Yasha Allah too, I'm dead in the dirt, I'm taking away up in the chariot. I'm trying to lead my people to freedom like Harriet, or better yet like Moses did. Bible in one hand, sword in the other, go to war like a Maccabee. Praying mercy on my people, vengeance on my enemies. And I don't fear no man, cause I know them angels surrounding me. So go and tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Let my people go.
Khan, shalom, shalom. Be on.
Khan, all praises, all praises. All praises. Khan, this is your brother Yahweh of HOI, NY, and J / Massachusetts, Boston. Coming back with another beautiful class. First, I would love to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, by Shem, Hamashiach, Mamalak, Yahweh Shai, for making it possible for us so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, men, women, and children that are following the beautiful footsteps of the Most High, keeping our faith, keeping our motivation with Yahweh Shai, and continuing to keep enduring until the end, until the second coming of our big brother Hamashiach Mamalak Yahweh Shai, giving all praises to the Most High that he, blesses us in the kingdom, blessing us with the everlasting life, but right now, until that time comes, we have to continue to stay diligent, sincere, be consistent for the Most High, keeping his laws, keeping his commandments, keeping the faith of Yahweh Shai, and to continue to keep on enduring on the edification, the history, the prophecy of letting our people know through the history, letting our people know through the videos, through the byways and highways that, brothers are out in the streets to sit up here, making their bodies a living sacrifice for the Most High, of letting our people know in these last days who they are, warning them of the outcome that's going to come if they don't come back to the Most High's commandments. And this is what we want to touch on tonight. It's very sad to still see the house of Jacob, which is the nation of the children of Israel, that are still in the world, even to our people that are waking up. So it's like, it's like a balance at the end of the day, but all praises, honor, and glory to all to all of Israel, and to all of Israel that is doing the truth of the Most High, that is, very feared of the Most High. You understand, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge, and that's why through the fearing of the Most High, we are blessed to be given the knowledge to sit up here and now, warn our people and edified of what's going on, letting them know history from what a lot of our people don't know today. And, this topic today is going to be the rise, the fall of Esau and the rise of Jacob. You understand? The fall of Esau, which when you look at the descendants of the people that come out of Esau, is the people who are in rulership today, the people who has kidnapped our brother and sister of the president who is a president of the country of Venezuela, who is actually an Israelite from the tribe of Asher. And, it's just, we're going to touch on the topics. You understand, the rise of Esau right now, that's in the rise, You understand? Those are the descendants of the people that are printing the money. You know, these are the people that are, you know, this is the nation that has, you know, us and $1 trillion in debt, that owes money to as that basically owes to every country that's on the earth, that has assassinated presidents and prime ministers all over the four corners of the earth. You understand? America, so-called white man, is the original gangster. You understand? The original gangster of the earth, the original nigger, because the real nigger is not you so-called blacks and Hispanics. You know, the real nigger is not you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, Seminole Indians. The original nigger is so-called white man that's on the earth today. The original robber, the original murderer, the original extortioner. You understand? The real rape, rob, and murder is the so-called white man, the original nigger on the earth. You understand? So to a lot of our people that, you know, think that they hood, they think that they're intained of being a real nigger, you're not nothing real when it comes to being a real nigger and the destruction when it comes to the descendants of Esau. You understand? But what's real about the so-called blacks and Hispanics, what I will say is real, is that you are the original real people that the Bible is speaking about. You are the original people who the Most High, through the inspirations of his words, that sat here and had our prophets of our forefathers write them down, our forebrothers writing down the inspirations of his words and letting us know that we're his chosen people. You understand? Out of the whole pie, we're his favorite piece. You understand? You know, we're his favorite when it comes to the multitude of the people that are on the earth. You understand? And I want to jump into that real quick. You know, let's go real quick. Let's go to the book of Psalms. As a matter of fact, Exodus chapter 4 and verse 8. Mighty King Baba Kushar.
Shalom, King. Yabashim Shalakatham. Kwame
Kwame Yasharala, Mighty King.
Khan, all praises. You said Exodus chapter 4, verse 8?
Khan, Mighty King.
Khan, Malak. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 8. And it reads, "And it shall come to pass, if they would not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the verse of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign."
The latter signs. You know, the Lord is showing the signs all over the four corners of the earth. You know, the Lord shows the signs through the elements of weather. You know, he shows the signs through, you know, the multitudes of the people that are on the earth. You understand? He is showing the signs to us. You understand? And the signs that we look at today, it all goes back to the two progenitors of Esau and Jacob. You understand? Because Esau, you understand, was, you know, very perpetual hated towards his brother. You understand? And, you know, this is the rise. This is the fall that we're on, and the rise that Esau is on. You understand? That goes all the way back to breaking the commandments, breaking the laws, breaking the statutes, and everything. And this is why, you know, we're not in rulership the way we were. You understand? This is why everything about us is swept under the rug, is whitewashed. You understand? Is, you know, all put in play of showing, you know, showing us, you know, these people who are in power now, you understand that there is no love towards us from these people. You understand? And when it goes all the way back to Jacob and Esau, the hatred that Esau had towards his brother, do you think that the descendants of the people who come out of Esau is going to have that same beautiful, is going to have love towards the descendants of the nation of the people, the multitude of the people that come out of Jacob? You understand? It's going to be the same way how Esau hated his brother, is the same way that the descendants of those people hate us today. You understand? All in terms, because we're given we have inherited the blessing. You understand? And when you come to look at the blessing, the same way that Jacob was inherited the blessing, you understand, it goes all to everything that is being blessed to the, to the children of Israel that is being told in the Bible. The covenants, the givings of the law, you understand, the glory, the adoption, you understand, the promises and everything. You understand, all that is given to us. You understand, these are the inheritance of the blessings right here that is given to the children of Israel. You understand? Real quick, Cain, let's go to you can give me Genesis chapter 25, and I want you to start at verse 21 for me, King, please. Baba Kushan.
Con, King. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 21, and it reads, And Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren.
So Salakia, King. So that's talking about with the Lord right there. That's talking about that, Isaac's wife was barren in that time of state because, being barren was talking about she couldn't have any children. You understand? Continue on, Mighty King, Baba Kushan.
Con. And the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And
So
the Lord struck.
So now she's able to, she's conceived now. You understand? The Lord has blessed her with the ability to conceive now, which is now talking about now she can have children. You understand? She can now get pregnant now, and she can now bring forth life. You understand? Continue on, King.
Con. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to require of the Lord Yahweh.
Continue, Mighty King.
Con. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
So this is how strong that, this is how serious that it gets, that in 2026, the perpetual hate that's put on us today, put on us to learn how to hate each other. You understand why we going through the affliction, why we going through the turmoil, why we're going through the hate towards each other, the not tender and delicateness that we used to have towards each other. You understand? That goes all the way back. You understand? From Esau and Jacob that was in the womb. You understand? That was fighting in the womb of their mother Rebekah. You understand? Even the Lord is requiring to tell her that 2 matter of your 2 sons shall be separated. You understand? That's how serious that it is. Continue on, Mighty King, Baba Kushan.
Con. And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Continue.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Continue,
and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
Continue.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
So Isaac was 62 years old when he sat here and, his 2 sons, came into the world. You understand? But even while as they were in the womb of their mother, in the stomach of their mother, they were struggling. They were fighting with each other. You understand? You could go to verse chapter 27, Genesis chapter 27, and you can go to verse 41 for me, King.
King. The book of Genesis chapter 27 and verse 41, and it reads, And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Continue.
And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doeth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee.
So not for nothing, look how serious that this is. You understand? from inheriting the blessings, you understand, from the father, you understand, look how the brother wasn't happy of that. You know what I'm saying? Look at no love or no compassion or anything towards the brother of Jacob, you understand, to turn around and now want to slay his own brother. So, like I said before, if it goes all the way back to the ancient times, you understand, of these two matter of people, man, that the descendants that are on the earth today come from, you understand, look at that same motive, look at the same spirit of the descendants that come from Esau, and look at the spirits, look at the spirit of our people that come out of Jacob. You understand? And it's the same exact thing. It's the same thing that goes all the way back to the two brothers. You understand? Those same people, those two brothers that had that one brother, the oldest, had a perpetual hate all through the blessings. You understand? When you look at certain movies, they play certain movies that contain of two twin brothers. One contains evil, the other one contains good. You understand? When you look at movies, even cartoon movies, like for example, look at The Lion King. You understand? When you look at the movie The Lion King, it really basically roots back to Jacob and Esau. Because what were those two lions? They were brothers. You understand? They were both brothers, but one had a perpetual hatred towards the other. And it was because of the same exact thing, because he was blessed to be the king. You understand? He was blessed to be the king. And so when you look at that, Mufasa would represent as Jacob. You understand? Esau will represent as Scar. You understand? And what did Scar sit here and do throughout the movies? Plotted, he planned. You understand? He got with the enemies that, not for nothing, his tribe of his people were totally against. You understand? But behind his family's back, behind his people's back of his nation, you understand? He's out there chilling with the hyenas. You understand? And these are the natural enemies, you understand, that come, these are the natural enemies that, if I'm not mistaken, in the movie, the lions were totally against. You understand? So, it shows the root of Esau and Jacob. You understand? All the hatred towards, Jacob from Esau, and even to this very day. You understand? And I wanted to just use that movie as an example because, I still to this day watch it a lot. And I watch it because it represents prophecy. It represents history that motivates back to the Bible. You understand? And a lot of these producers, they use the Bible. They actually use the book to sit up here and, make these movies the way it is, that we could see spiritually that it is all biblical. You understand? It's all biblical at the end of the day. You understand? And at the same time, they'll, throw their little, they'll throw their little spunk in it and whatnot to make it look good in terms like, of with them at the end of the day. But, that was just the example that I just want to bring out at the end of the day. You understand? But it goes all the way back to Esau wanting to slay his own brother. And it comes down to even in terms of us. You understand? We are slaying our own brothers today, killing our own brothers today. You understand? And that's not the way that we should be handling things. You understand? We're supposed to be having the love and compassion towards each other. But like I said, it goes all the way back to the root of Esau and Jacob. You understand? Of why we see the world the way it is today. You understand? Why we see a perpetual hate towards these people. You understand? And from us breaking the commandments and statutes and the laws of the Most High, you understand, is a reason of why we're in the condition that we're in today. The condition of how we fell, you understand, how we fell and how we need to connect back together to sit up here and rise again. And don't get me wrong, we're going to rise. You understand? We're going to rise again. You understand? But in order for it to rise, in order for things to get better and for things to get good for us, it has to be, we have to go through the worst first. You understand? Got to go through the bumpy roads before getting to the smooth road. You understand? So, we're almost there, family. You know, we're almost there at that finish line. But at the same time, you know, it's still a lot of things that is still in the struggle, you know, before getting to that finish line. You understand? I want you to play a quick clip that I had up on that I put one of the videos up, Kings. Is it's an actual quick YouTube picture of the Lion King and whatnot that I had typed up there. If y'all can put that video up.
Right now, there's a lot more questions than answers when it comes to what the Trump administration is doing in terms of ruling.
Not that one. Is the one with the Lion King. I'm sorry, King. Salakia. That's going to be the third video. I only caught 3 videos. Salakia.
Mufasa's death is a terrible tragedy. But to lose Simba, who had barely begun to live, for me, it is a deep, personal loss. So it is with a heavy heart that I assume the throne. Yet out of the ashes of this tragedy, we shall rise to greet the dawning of a new era, in which lion and hyena come together in a great and glorious future.
So you see right there, that's the fall. That's the fall of us breaking the commandments. You understand? So when you look at Scar would be represented today as so-called white man. You understand? That would be the so-called white man today that is, you know, bringing these other nations, you understand, bringing them into the country as immigrants, not slaves, but bringing them as immigrants, you understand, through their banking system, sits up here and, you know, issues out loans to give to these other nations, Arabs, Chinese, Japanese, East Indians, Africans. And what do? They set and plot them up in the neighborhoods that you live in. You understand? And do what? Give them the motivations to gentrificate. And every time you turn around and you look in your neighborhood, you walk to this corner, you walk to that corner, you understand? They have taken over the stores, the discount stores, the gas stations, you understand? Everywhere that's in your neighborhood, that's where these people are. But why are these people in your neighborhoods and they're able to gentrificate, they're able to contain business, that not for nothing, us as a people should be able to sit up here and communicate and in our community organize our own stores and our own businesses and everything like that. You understand? Why is it going on like that in terms? You understand? Because not for nothing, man, Esau does not want to see our people sit up here and orchestrate anything. That was the reason of why Black Wall Street was bombed down, why Queen City was bombed down. When you look at Tulsa, Oklahoma, you understand? When you look at the Central Park down there in Manhattan in New York, you understand? All these places that I named just now were actually places that our people were, you know, that was a community at the end of the day that wasn't in pain of needing help from any of these other nations. This is why when Esau sits up here and goes to these other countries, sits up here and turns around and gives our people, you know, and when I mean our people, because a lot of our people don't understand that in these other foreign countries, you understand, the children of Israel is scattered everywhere. You understand? So when you look at most of the people that Esau is targeting of presidents, prime ministers, and everything like that, those are actually the people of the tribes of our nation. You understand? This is why Trump is bothering with the Venezuela president, which is a brother of the tribe of Asher. He's now being kidnapped. You understand? And all through the taints, because like any other like any other presidential, at the end of the day, don't want to communicate with the United States. They don't want to communicate, you know, with with sitting up here and just letting us have our own extension and just live our way. You understand? Live our way, man. That is a lot more peaceful. That's not through war. That's, you know, not contaminating drugs and everything up in other people's neighborhoods like America does, like Esau does. You understand? You know, when you look at the God they serve is not according to the Most High that's in the Bible. It's not to Yahweh that's in the Bible. You understand? Their God today is, you know, they'll say in God we trust, but you know, through their talk, you understand, of the Most High, but through their actions, you understand their God is through their money at the end of the day. You understand? That's why they say in God we trust on your dollar bills and whatnot. But they're not trusting in the Most High. That's not the God that these people are sitting up here following. You understand? So when you look at the God that they serve, man, that word God is the representation of the guns, the oil, and the drugs. You understand that these people are. And what do you think Trump and the administration? What do you think the military and all that is now over there in Venezuela? You understand? Over there trying to, you know, over there wanting to take, you understand? And when, you know, a certain country or a president doesn't want to deal with the United States, what do? They send CIA, they send agents through the CIA to go in there and infrastructure on assassinating the president. They'll sit there and now use the news media of that country to sit up here and now turn around and turn the eyes of, you know, of having hatred towards the president of that country. You understand? And what do? They now sit up there, they'll assassinate that president. You understand? Send in that same agent through the CEI to now be the infrastructure and be, you know, the person of love and everything like that to that country. And it's really just all to sit up there and attain of getting access to all the riches and everything that is in that country. And they're actually doing that with Venezuela. They did that with Guatemala. They did that with Puerto Rico, Jamaica, everywhere you turn and look. You understand? They did that in Chile. They did that over there in Argentina. They're doing it everywhere. You understand? They did it in Iran. They do it everywhere. You understand? And like I said before, America is the original gangster that is on the earth. You understand? But at the same time, they use these other nations, you know, they participate with these other nations. And like I said before, that's why these nations are in your neighborhoods. That's why they're gentrificating. They're not living through the structures that you're living on. They're not going through the affliction. They're not going through the poverty. They're not going through the trials and tribulations that the nation of Israel, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and Seminole Indians are going through. You understand? And you know, is crazy. But this is the real true meaning of the Most High showing that it's time for our people to wake up and come back. It's time for our people to come back to our Heavenly Father. You understand? Our Heavenly Father is not playing games. You understand? The punishment that He's given to us is not a game. You understand? And until our people wake up and start understanding that, you understand, this is the destruction and the poverty that you're going to go through. This is the trials and tribulations that you're going to go through. You understand? And like I said before, it roots all the way back to Esau. You understand? It roots all the way back to Eglon. It roots all the way back to Moab and Ammon. You understand? It roots all the way back to these people because, not for nothing, these people, along with the so-called nation of the so-called white people, man, you understand? They had their hands and feet when it came down to the captivity of our people. When it truly came down to the captivity. And that's why it is still going on today, even in 2026. You understand? because those people are still assigned to sit up here and still do everything to keep the nation of Israel from not waking back up. Mighty Kane, let me get the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 2, King. One of my favorite classics, King.
Con King. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 82, and verse number 3. You said 82 and 3, right?
83 and verse 2.
Salakia. Psalm chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So they have lifted up their head. You understand? Those that hate us, man, they lift up their heads. You understand? And that the head, how they lift up, man, is, is showing their pride. You understand? It's showing their pride. When the Lord was talking about that, thee that hated thee has lifted up the head, they're proud of the things that they sit up here and they do to us. You understand? The captivity that they keep us in. You understand? The way that they're tearing us down through the economical structure, through the educational structure. You understand? The farmer, the medicine, the food. You understand? And most importantly, spiritually, of us not coming back to the Heavenly Father. You understand? Taking the history of our book that they took out of the schools, that they sit up here and now university and made it a universal book, thinking that it's speaking about everybody. You understand? We are the lost sheep that the Lord is sitting up here talking about. Continue on, Mighty King.
Con. Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So these people that hide, hide away and hiding from the population, and mostly from the population of our people. Because I really don't give a damn about these other nations. You understand? Is really through the population of our people. You understand? Because we are the sands of the earth. You understand? We are those grains of the sand on the earth. You understand? And this is why they'll tell us that we're the minority, when really in all hand, we're the majority. You understand? It's most of us on the earth than all nations sit up here combined together. You understand? This is why Gates was sitting up here talking about that we have to decrease the population down by 3%. You understand? Through these vaccines. You understand? Through these pharmaceutical companies that instructed by them at the end of the day to sit up here and do what? To sit here and tear down the children of Israel. You understand? This is part of the fall of the house of Jacob. So when you talk about Jacob, you're talking about Israel. When you talk about Israel, you're talking about Jacob. You understand? The Lord changed his name to Jacob. You understand? For the blessings that he had done to sit up here and get that to get that victory. You understand? From the Most High. So not for nothing, man. Yes, these people, man, they are very proud of what they sit up here and they do. You understand? Taking the crafty counsels. You understand? Like I said, through our food, through our medicine. You understand? They turning our children out, man. Turning our children from, wanting to switch their own genders. You understand? And this is why we got children out here today that want to be a girl when they are a boy. They want to be a boy when they are a girl. You understand? And our people destroyed off of the knowledge. You understand? Yes, we understand the love you have for your child. You understand? But I'm sorry to say that if I got children, I can't accept that. I can't sit up here and I can't participate with that and sit up here and give them some compassion and love and support them in the thing that's going against the Most High God. You understand? If the Most High brought you in this world through me and your mother, and you come out the womb of your mother as a boy, that's what your purpose is, to sit up here and be on this earth, from being from a boy to a man. Same that goes with a little girl, from being a little girl to a woman. Not turning around and sitting up here at 7, 8 years old talking about dad, mom, I really don't feel like I'm a boy anymore. You understand? That just, it just doesn't make any sense, man. You got grown men that are sitting up here going in public bathrooms of women's public bathroom. You understand? because now they have that content that they a woman now, putting on the dress and all that. You understand? This place has turned us out, man. You understand? Continue on, Mighty King.
Come on, reading on, verse 4. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Wait a minute. What did the Lord say again, King?
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So they said, come and let us cut them off. Who is they? We're going to get to that. You understand? But notice it's not just one person. It's not just one nation. It's they. So that's a number of people that are in that. You understand? That are in the crafty counsel of cutting us off from being a nation. Why would you want to cut a people off from being a nation, man? Why would you want to cut a people off from them not organizing to come back together as a whole? You know, why would you want to keep them apart? You understand? And I've said that plenty of times. For that to sit up here and happen to you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and Seminole Indians, man, something got to be great and beautiful about you. You understand? For, you know, other nations of people to sit up here and keep you in this dissect of confusion, man. You understand? Which we all know is the works of the Most High. You understand? Read that part again for me, King Baba Kushan.
Come on, King. Psalm chapter 83, verse 4. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And what do we think today Israel is? We think those people over there, then, you know, these people over here, these so-called Jewish people, not the real Jews, but a lot of us on the earth today, we think the real Jews are over there in Israel right now. You understand? That's wearing these little broad caps on their head. That's wearing these tall goddamn hats with the fur around it, with a damn, you know, or walking around with a goddamn a strap on their head with a damn box on their forehead. You understand? We thinking these people are the real Jews. You understand? When all in favor, they're just playing amateur night at the Apollo. But you're the original Apollo. You're the entire Apollo theater, and they're just playing the acts. Same way of how we sit up here, man, and we play the acts of being a gangster nigga, being a real nigga, a hood nigga, just being in particular, just titling yourself as a nigga. You understand? When what we're sitting here doing is nothing but doing amateur night as well. You understand? When the real gangster, the real nigga, the real extortioner, rape, rob, and murderer, you understand, is up in office, printing your money. You understand? In control of all the infrastructures of, you know, all the corporations and everything all over the earth, man. You understand? And not just sitting up here antagonizing us, but they doing that to all other nations. You understand? They're doing that to all other nations. You understand? They're rape, robbing, and murdering other nations as well. But the one thing that they're not sitting here doing to any of these other nations that they have done to us, man, they have not taken away the inheritance of these other nations of people. That's why they know who they are. They know their real language. They know their homeland they come from. Yeah, I speak English, but this is my original English, my original language. You understand? Yeah, I'm over here in America, but the China man knows where his original homeland is. The Arab man knows where his original homeland is. You understand? We're the only people, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, don't even know our original language and our original homeland. You understand? Our laws and traditions. You understand? The God that we sit up here and serve. You understand? We you know, it is like the Lord said, we are the original sheep that is truly lost at the end of the day. You understand? And our shepherd is gone to sit up here, man, and attain the people back. But spiritually, yes, our shepherd is around, man. Because look at every day that we sit up here and we speak. Every day we wake up, another brother and sister is coming into the truth, coming back to their inheritance. And that's what scares these people the most, man. You understand? So-called white men don't care if you know, are going to jail, selling his drugs at the end of the day to your own people, killing your own people. What scares that man the most, man, is when he sees you coming back to your inheritance. You understand? And you don't think Esau Right now, as I sit up here and speak, all the brothers that are out here on the highways and byways of different congregations, different camps, you understand, that's scaring the hell out of this man. That's truly scaring the hell out of this man. And the men that I'm talking about are the ones that are in power. You understand? That's scaring the hell out of the Rothschilds, man. You understand? Whether, you know, brothers believe it or not, whether sisters believe it or not, you understand? We are truly sitting up here. We are truly scaring the hell out of Esau, man. We're truly scaring the hell out of the Rothschilds, out of the Rockefellers, out of the Eisenheimers, the DuPonts. You understand? All these people that fell on contained up with the Rothschilds. You understand? We're scaring them. You understand? We're scaring them by not celebrating their feast days. You understand? Little do you know, at the end of the day, you'd be very surprised the money that they lose every year now, more and more, that the children of Israel are waking up, coming back to the original feast days of the Most High and leaving Christmas alone, leaving Thanksgiving alone. You understand? That Esau rises up on every year. And now he's seeing it, man. Piece by piece, that money is starting to deteriorate. We're deteriorating it because we're not with the BS no more. We're not with the bamboozle no more. You understand? You try to tell us about, you try to tell us about, we celebrating Christmas. Yo, we're going to break it down to you. You understand? We're going to truly break it down to you. So yes, man, these people, man, are doing everything to keep us from not containing back as a nation. You understand? That scares Esau, man, when he sees brothers out here on the highways and byways, when he sees brothers and sisters together, wearing their modest apparel. You understand? Under the structures of the laws and the commandments of the Most High, celebrating his feast days, not attaining back to this world. We're turning our eyes back to the Most High. You understand? And turning our backs on the ways of this wicked kingdom, man. Continue on, Mighty King Baba Kushal, verse 5.
Khan, verse 5. But they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederates against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmael.
Who?
The tabernacles of Edom.
Continue, King.
And the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarites, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek.
So not for nothing, you understand, what a lot of our people don't understand is that the same way you're given a man-given name, you're also given a biblical name. You understand? The Lord has given you a biblical name. Man on the earth today has given us the byword names today of so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, of being a African-American, a Puerto Rican, a Dominican. You understand? The list goes on and on. You understand? So the biblical name, you understand, of Edom goes back to the progenitor of Esau. You understand? Which would be what today? That would be the biblical name of the so-called white men, women, and children that are on the earth today. When you look at the Ishmaelites, you understand, who come from the progenitor of Ishmael. You understand? They would today be, that's the biblical name for the so-called Arabs. When you look at the Hagarenes, that's talking about the progenitor that goes back to Ham. You understand? Of the so-called Africans, Ethiopians, and all of them that are on the earth today. When you look at the Ammonites, that's the biblical name for the so-called Japanese people. You look at the name of Moab, the biblical name for the so-called Chinese people. You understand? These were the people under Esau, under Edom. These are the other nations under Edom that was sitting up here, man, following, and like I said, being a volunteer and a participator, you understand, when it came down to the captivity of our people. And this is why when you look at it today, man, they have a higher up in your neighborhood. They're living better than what you're doing in the neighborhood. And all they have in your neighborhood is their businesses. They don't even live in your neighborhoods. You understand? A lot of our people think they do, but they don't live in your neighborhood. If they do live in their neighborhood, the building that they store is structured on, they own that building. You understand? They don't have you living in that. They're all living in that. But most of these nations of people, they don't live in your neighborhood. You understand? They're living somewhere nice in a beautiful, a suburban apartment. I mean, of the suburbs. You understand? Not going through the motives that you're going through. So this is the fall of our people, man. You understand? This is part of the fall of our people. You understand? Us breaking the commandments and laws, guess what? The Lord befell us. So where we were at one point in time up on the top, the Lord fell us off of that. You understand? The throne of rulership on this earth, the Lord took us off of that. We fell off of that. You understand? How we tell brothers at times, yo, brother, man, you falling off, man. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we fell off that same way. So this is the fall of our people right now. You understand? Now, the clip that I was showing earlier of the Lion King joint, you understand? When you look at Scar, how he joined the hyenas to now be where the hyenas and the lions, you understand, come together, like he said, in this great and glorious future. You understand? That is the representation of Esau and these other nations. You understand? Scar would be Esau, you understand? And the hyenas would be the other nations. You understand? Be the other nations at the end of the day. So that's why I wanted to play that clip to sit up here that just, it goes biblically. And that's what we're looking at today. We're looking at Esau giving loans to these other to these other nations that sit up here and do what? They orchestrate in your neighborhood, man. They have a way to make it that our people, man, you understand, our only way of thinking we making it is through selling drugs to each other. Or sitting up here thinking of being a basketball player or a football player or a rapper at the end of the day is the only way to make it out. You understand? Is the only way to achieve. The real achievement is coming back to the laws and the commandments of the Most High. That's the real achievement right there. Our people think today as playing these roles of being a sports figure and an entertainer, you understand? Because that's what all these things represent at the end of the day. It's just entertainment. But it's an entertainment that's blinding us off from the real agenda that's going on around us. You understand? That's truly going on around us. So yes, these nations today, man, that goes all the way back to the slavery time. How the Ishmaelites, man, the Arabs were building the ships that our people were sardined up on when they were captured by so-called white men. When the so-called Africans, the Hagarenes, you understand, which would be Foot today, which would be Foot, which would be Cush, what would be Canaan at the end of the day. These are the biblical names of these Africans at the end of the day. You understand? That went through their way to capture our people, to sit up here and sell them to the white men. So yes, man, this is the fall of our people at the end of the day. You understand? This is how Esau got his rise up on. You understand? From us breaking the laws. That's why he whitewashes everything. You understand? That's why he's telling you today, in order for you to orchestrate a church or buy a church or have anything to do in fellowship of being a pastor, you understand? First thing they're going to do with you, you understand? They're going to put you through that 501c3 program. And that 501c3 program contains on, you have to sit up here and follow the ways of how Esau wanted. You understand? The renaissance of how he sat up here and he, like I said, whitewashed everything. Now, when you look at Yahushua, he's white now. You understand? And if they say, and if they did everything to put Yahushua to look white, imagine what they did with the Most High. Look what they did with all the other prophets. You understand? They got movies that come out. They have movies back in the days, back in the 80s. You understand? Back in the 70s. You understand? Of a white man named Charleston Henson that's playing Yahushua. You understand? It's ridiculous. But this is the fall of our people, man, from attaining of not following the laws and the commandments. You understand? Cain, let me get Psalms chapter 14 and give me verse 1, King.
Khan.
You know, this is high time to wake out of sleep. You understand? This is the reason of why we're going through as a nation. You understand? The house of Jacob is going through what they're going through today. This is why they're going through what they're going to. But like I said, where there's a fall, there's also a rise. You understand? The Lord tells us it's a time for everything up under the heavens, man. It's a time for everything up under the sun. You understand? So yes, we have that fall, but the same way we fall, guess what? The Lord bit by bit is rising us back up, man, getting us back up. You understand? Yeah, a lot of us are still laying there from that fall, but a lot of us are also from that fall, we getting up now. You know, we're standing up now. Bring that out for me, Mighty King, Baba Kushon.
Con King. Hey King, just to let me back, you know what you were saying about uh, uh Charlton Heston playing in the Bible movie, The Ten Commandments. It wasn't Yahweh Shah he was portraying. It was Moses.
Salakia. Yes,
Yeah,
Salakia,
now it's
King.
all good, King. Yeah,
Salakia, all
Khan.
praises to that. Salakia,
All praise to the
Israel.
Most High.
I meant to say not Yahweh Shah, I meant to say Moses. You
Moses,
know, that's
Khan.
who he was
Yeah,
trying to pertain to sit here and be and whatnot.
right.
You know, and when you look at the Renaissance, you know, the Renaissance time was actually the awaken, you understand, of showing that Esau was now in power. You understand? That's why everything is whitewashed the way it is. And he's not even doing that only to the children of Israel. You understand? He's done that to the Africans. You understand? Through the Egyptian movies and all that. And we all know the original Egyptians are Africans. You understand? But what are they sitting there doing, man? You know, they everything. You understand? When you look at the Vikings, you understand? Vikings weren't so-called white people. They were so-called black brothers, man. You look at the
Khan.
cowboy movies at the end of the day, the original cowboys were so-called brothers at the end of the day, man. You know, so you know, is they whitewash everything. They truly whitewash everything at the end of the day. You understand? Bring that out, Mighty King Baba Kishore.
Khan, King. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 14, and verse number 1, and it reads, "The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good."
None of them that do good, man. None of them that do good. You know, they'll talk a good one, man, to be at the best of your interest. You understand? Make you feel all good inside and whatnot, man. But meanwhile, man, they already got 30 different ways to sit up here and downfall of what they say they give you. And the things that they give you is no more than a piece like this, man. You understand? No more than a damn rock pebble. You understand? Peanuts that they giving our people. You understand? And even through those peanuts, man, they got 30 different ways, 50 damn ways. You understand? They got 1,000 different ways. They got 1,000,000 different ways to sit up here and take it through you, man. And it's all through it's all through wickedness. You understand? It's all through evil. Nothing righteousness at the end of the day. You understand? And the fool has said in his heart, there is no God, man. You understand? Because their God is not the heavenly Father of Yahweh. Their God today, man, is through the money, through the oil, through the drugs at the end of the day. You understand? And that's all that it is, man. Through the guns, yeah, all of that. That's their original God today. The oil that they now stealing over there in Venezuela. You understand? Who's next? Who's next on the list? You understand? If it's not the oil that they go for, it's the money system that they go for. They go for the banking system. They go for the oil at the end of the day. You understand? They go for the drugs. You know, they go for it all. You understand? That was the whole purpose of 9/11, of going and putting Afghanistan as a terrorist at the end of the day. But meanwhile, these same damn people, quote to be terrorists, they're still in the United States of America today. But wait a minute, I thought they were terrorists, man. I thought they were terrorists. And meanwhile, the whole entire time, the original terrorists is the ones who sit up here, man, and talk about these people being the terrorists, when the ones who are trying to blame the other is the actual terrorists. You understand? Esau is wicked, man. And it goes all the way back to the ancient times, man, of like the scriptures say, he was a cunning hunter, man, always out in the fields. You understand? And that's Esau today. That's Trump and them all today. You understand? That's one of the grandchildren of Esau today, going to other countries, wanting to rape, rob, and murder their stuff, man. And thinking like nothing is going to happen to you in the process. Not now, for the minute it's not. But trust me, the pot is stirring up, man. Oh, and the Lord got some stuff in there stirred up that he getting ready to have y'all eat, man. You understand? So yes, man, these people, man, they don't believe in a God, man. They don't believe in Yahweh. They don't believe in Yahweh Shai. And that's why we continue to be kept in the dark. We're continuing to be fed foolishness from these people, man. Fed foolishly at the end of the day. Let me get real quick, Cain. Let me get Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 17, Mighty King. These people don't believe in the Most High because why? They think they're the Most High. They think they think they're Yahweh Shai at the end of the day. Bring that out for me, Mighty King, Baba Kushal.
Khan King. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17, and it reads, "As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us."
Look what's going on, man. You understand? Through the generations of these people. You understand? Since the region of Ashereth was taken away from Gad, from Reuben. You understand? That's all that they have sat here and done, man. Read that again, Mighty King, Baba Kushal.
Khan. Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 17. "As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us."
Don't we watch it on the news every day, man? Don't we see it on the news? These people want to try to make healthcare good, or they want to do this, they want to do that. Like I said, just putting it in the eyes, which we feel is best of our interests, and then they bamboozle you at the end, man. You understand? Sound all good and everything, man, to a nation that can't save us, man. You understand? All these presidents that you look at didn't save us from a damn thing. You understand? All the way up to this annoying orange that's in office today. Hasn't done anything. Hasn't done nothing at all. Hasn't done a damn thing and no source at all, man. You understand? Continue, Mighty King, Baba Kushal.
Khan. Verse 18. "They hunt our steps, They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come."
Our end is come, man. You understand? Our end is come. It's going to come a time we're not going to deal with this no more. You understand? And they're hunting your steps through everything, man. Not just hunting your steps or watching you in the streets. You understand? But they're hunting your steps, man, through the government, man, through your food, through your medicine, through your education. You understand? This is the hunting that they're doing on our people. This is the hunting that they're doing to us, man. You understand? That we can't even go in our streets, man. You understand? We can't even go in our streets, as messed up that our streets are in. You understand? Hunting the ways that goes all the way back to in the time of the Panthers, how they infrastructured the conspiracy to sit up here and put drugs in the neighborhood to bring down the infrastructure of the Panthers, and right behind them the Bloods and Crips. keeping them in a docile, instigating and motivating. And like I said, how the government will sit up here and through the CIA put agents in the neighborhoods in these other countries to sit up here and take the infrastructure of those countries at the end of the day. Guess what? They do that with the Bloods and Crips as well. They send agents through the CIA to sit up here and keep us in that docile to continue to keep going against each other, giving rumors to your brother about your other brother over here. You understand? We're not dealing with regular people, man. We are dealing with the true devil that the Bible is speaking of, man. You understand? We are truly dealing with the devil that the Bible is speaking of. And we all know what the word devil means. That contains back to the word deceiver. Because so-called white man would deceive everything, man. Tell you this and do something else entirely different. You understand? Let me get Psalms real quick, King. Psalms chapter 55, and you can give me verse 20.
Kamalak, this is the book of Psalms chapter 55 and verse 20. He had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant.
And that's
The words of
fables.
Khan.
You understand? He has broken the covenant, when it comes to the containment of our people, man. You understand? Gassing our people to hell up, man. A wolf in sheep's clothing, man. You understand? And secretly behind the scenes, he's devouring the original sheep. You understand? Give me verse 21, King.
Khan, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words was.
They make it sound so good, Salaki, okay? They make it sound so good, man. You understand? Have the most smoothest words at the end of the day.
Right.
Sound so good with their words. But what did the Lord say, King? Their words are smooth as butter.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
They drawn swords. The sword is already ready, man. It's already ready to stab you in the back, man. You understand? The minute that the minute you let your guard down, you understand? The minute you feel so good and you open up, man, that's all they waiting for. That's all they waiting for, man. The man sounds so smooth with his words. And look what Trump is sitting here doing, man. Have one of our Asherite brothers, in custody now. In custody of what, man? He didn't do a damn thing to you. He didn't do a damn thing to America, man. You understand? And even when it comes down to all these other nations, they did it with Gaddafi. They did it with Saddam Hussein. You understand? All for what, man? All for their riches, man. All for the stuff that they already have at the end of the day. That's all they do, man. Why do you think we're $1 trillion, so many $1 trillion of dollars in debt? Why is America over $20 trillion in debt, man? The number could be higher. I could be wrong. But it's in the trillions, though. In debt at the end of the day, because the owing that you owe to all these other, of all these other countries, man, that you have raped, robbed, and murdered as well, man. That you have plotted, crafty counsels and everything on. You understand? So it's not only us, but the root is that the real importance on this earth is the children of Israel. You understand? And I'm sorry to say, none of these other nations have fell the way Israel has fell. You understand? None of these other nations are being chastised the way Israel is being chastised. You understand? You can give me, King, you can give me Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 2.
Khan, this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 2, and it reads, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh God, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of these seas. Yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thy heart as the heart of God.
And that's playing upon tables, man. You understand? This is what these people can, this is what these people mindset is put on. They think that they're God. These people in power think, that are ruling the earth, that is controlling and, in charge of everything, man. You understand? They really think they're the God of the earth, man. They think that they sit in the throne, like they sit in the seat of the Most High, sit in the seat over Yahushua. You understand? Like you gotta be a bold damn person, man, to have that type of a spirit and mindset to think you're over the Most High. You understand? Like you just moving the Most High out the way and you just sitting down, man. These people got a lot of goddamn nerve, man. A lot of damn nerve, man. You understand? But all this is going on because of Jacob's correction, man. And who is Jacob? The house of Israel, man. That's why everything is going on the way it's going on, because of our correction. It's time to get correct, Israel. It's time to wake up, man. And the more that our people will wake up, man, the faster we can get the hell up out of here. You understand? I'll say it in Ashiar's favorite words, man, to be one accord and get the hell up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying?
God.
It's time to wake up, man. And this is why we going through what we going through, man. You understand? Real quick, let me get Sirach chapter 12 and verse 16.
God, King. This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, and verse number 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
You won't be satisfied at all until he sees blood, till he sees bloodshed, till you see bodies laying all over. Man. You understand? Till you see, till you see people being blown up by a damn missile, man. You understand? The man will sit there, man, and the whole entire time, his mind is already plotting, man, of how he's going to throw you into a pit, man. And that pit is talking about your land. That pit is talking about, your house you live in, your apartment. You understand? How he's going to throw you into that pit of telling you that, you're no longer needed at the job that you was working for damn near 15, 20 years at. You know what I'm saying? Throw you into a pit of, cutting off the SSI or cutting off Medicaid now. That was helpful to you, man, of your resources, of your health and whatnot. You understand, man? Like it's just sad. But this is also the eye opener, man, that the Most High is not playing on as well. You understand? Let me get real quick, King. So yes, these people, man, this is the rise of Esau. This is the rise. You understand? The minute we broke the commandments, man, the minute we befell the Most High, you understand, we actually brought these people out the damn caves for rulership. We brought dogs out of the damn caves. We brought dogs to sit up here and be in rulership, man. That's what we brought. We brought dogs into rulership. Let me get real quick, King. Let me get Malachi 1 and 4, King.
God, this is the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord God of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them.
Can you continue?
They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the borders of wickedness.
You
And the
understand
people,
the borders of wickedness, man. You understand? Who besides the so-called white man is the borders of wickedness on this earth, man? You know, who's known for putting their hands in other people's cookie jars instead of putting their hands in their own? And the reason why America has their hands in everybody else's cookie jar, because there's no cookies in the jars of America, man. America has no cookies, man. You too busy stealing and eating everybody else's stuff, man. You know, don't know how to sit up here and attain and get it, like how these other how these other nations sit up here and do as well. Most importantly, even of Israel. That's why you had to make sure to take the inheritance away from the nation of Israel, man. Because you have studied, you know the real forms of Israel. You know the real customs and everything, man. You know everything that's given to the children of Israel. And that's why you continue to keep doing what you're doing. You understand? Real quick, Cain, let me get Revelation chapter 6 and verse 8.
Come on, King, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 8. And it reads, And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And the power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth.
So not for nothing, when you look at the four corners of the earth, when you look at this area of the earth that's talking about, you understand, it's talking about the Western Hemisphere. And that's where a lot of our people are at in that hemisphere at the end of the day. That goes all the way back to, if I'm not mistaken, that goes all the way back to to Monroe. Season, writing through the, writing petitions and everything that goes all the way back in that time. You understand? And not for nothing, when you look at the Northern Hemisphere today, who's in the Northern Hemisphere? That's talking about our people. You understand? The tribe of Zebulon, the tribe of Asher. You understand? They're in that region of the Western Hemisphere. You understand? And who is that person sitting on that pale horse that the Lord is talking about? You understand? The man of death, that's talking about Esau. That's talking about the so-called white man. That's who's sitting on that horse. You understand? That's all he brings to your front door, man. It's like the Three's Company, come and knock at your door. We've been waiting for you. Waiting to sit up here, man, and see the shed of the blood of our people, man. You understand? But there's only a matter of time that all of that is going to sit up here and stop, man. You understand? And bit by bit, it's definitely stopping to the men of the Lord, the women of the Lord that are actually following the laws of the Most High, that is afraid of the Most High, whose faith and believes and everything through their spirit goes directly to the Most High and Yahweh Shai. Not fearing man, not fearing nobody else, fearing the Most High, man. You understand? That's why even in these last days, even in that day, man, you understand, a lot of us, man, are going to be taken up. You understand? We're going to be taken up, man, because of the showing of the Most High, man, that it was all about you. Yes, you made it. You had thick times for us, and you made it thick. You understand? But all our beliefs and our motives going to you, Lord. You understand? Let me get Revelation. Yeah, let me get Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12, Mighty King.
Come on, King. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
You know what I'm saying? See, these people in power, man, they know they have but a short time, man. You understand? They $500 trillion fortune ain't gonna save them, man. Your billions of dollars are not gonna save you. You understand? Your underground bunkers that you set up here mysteriously, secretly put on the earth that is, blind to the regular eye, but not the spiritual eye of our people. You understand? They know that they have but a short time. That's why they causing the wrath. Let's get as much oil. Let's get as much drugs and gold. Let's get as much stuff that we can, you understand, to wrap down on the children of Israel. Because that's basically who that's talking about. Like I said before, we are the majority. We're not the minority. We're the majority of the people that's on this earth, man. You understand? Nobody's scattered on this earth the way the children of Israel is. You understand? And we're not just in some parts. We're not just in the Western Hemisphere. We're not just in the United States. You understand? No, we're all over every continent, every piece and stench of land that's on this earth. We're on it. You understand? And wherever we're at, Esau is right behind. Esau is right there as well. And we know wherever he stepped his foot on, man, that, it's it. It's over with. You understand? It's like, we're the flowers. It's like we're the flowers that bloom, and they're just the damn scissors that come in, the garden scissors come and just cut the flowers down, man. You understand? So they're having great wrath, man, because they know that their time is short. You understand? And they seeing that it's short, and like I said, what's scaring them the most, man, is that I can't believe these niggas are waking up. These spicks are waking up now. These wetbacks are waking up now. They're coming back to their heritage. They know who they are in the Bible. They're out there on the highways and byways, sitting up there, man, and they're waking their people up. You understand? They're prophesying down to their people. You understand? That's what's scaring them the most at the end of the day. That's what's truly scaring them. So yes, the wrath is coming down because they know that they got but a short time. You understand? And that right there is the downfalling of the destruction of Esau, which in ways, knowing that he got but a short time, he's knowing that his downfall is near. And like I said before, the fall of Esau, the rise of Jacob. You understand? And as he's falling, guess what? We're rising. You understand? How many brothers and sisters, man, that's in this truth get hyped? You understand? When they see the things on the news and everything through prophecy. You understand? It might sound sad to see Venezuela getting robbed for their oil and everything, man. But you know what's glorified to us? That's showing us that we getting closer and closer to home. We're getting closer and closer day by day. Every day we wake up and we pray to the Most High. Brothers and sisters that are fasting, brothers and sisters that are studying at the end of the day. You understand? Every day is like a polio string cheese. The Lord is just bit by bit, every day, he's just tearing off one string. He's pulling one string off, one string off. And it's going to get to a point where you're going to get down to the last string. And once that last string is now at its appearance, that's it. It's done deal. It's a done deal. You understand? King, let me get Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1, King.
Khan. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and verse number 1, and it reads, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own."
He's going to choose all these other nations.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel.
No, I think it was Esau.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel.
You can't make none of this up, man. Continue, mighty King.
And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Now, the strangers we already know. The strangers are talking about the other nations. You understand? And they're going to cleave to us, man, because in that time of that day right there, when we're set back in Israel, when the original Jews, the original people, when the original children of God are back in their original land, you understand? Back on with their original apparel, you understand? Back on with their original garments. And what is the garments? Not only talking about the apparel of the clothing, you understand, that the Lord gave to us to dress, but that's even talking about the law, statutes, and commandments as well. You understand? Strangers in that day, man, they're going to want to cleave to us, man, because the destruction that's going to be given to them if they refuse to have that. You understand? They'll rather sit up here and serve. You understand? They're going to be the new Stephen and the new fiddler in the kingdom for us, man. You understand? They're going to sit up here like Stephen said to to Calvin Candy. I loves you like a rocks in my shoe. You understand? That's how these nations are going to be with us. You understand? They're going to want to cleave on us more than anything, because they're not going to want that lake of fire, man. They're not going to want that destruction that we're going to have installed for them, man. You understand? And, you know, they see us on the rise now, but in that day, they're going to see like they never seen before of the children of Israel. Continue on, Mighty King Bible Control.
Con, reading on, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Because that's what we are today in this kingdom, man. That's what we are under Esau's rulership. That's what we are on Esau's rise right now. You understand? We are servants and we are handmaids, man. You understand? We are experimenters, because that's all they do to us, man. All they do is experiment on us, man, through the medicine, through the food. You understand? All the crafty counsels that they sit up here and they do to us just to see how we react, how our bodies react. How long will it take for we fall? You understand? How long will it take before we pass off, before we give up the ghost? You understand? This is all spiritual of the Most High right here. You understand? So we're not going to, you know, in that day, we're not going to be servants and handmaids no more. You understand? And to Israel that still want to try to sit up here and hold up America, that want to hold up with Esau, that want to hand in hand with Esau, guess what, man? You're going to be in that cotton field right along with them. You're going to be nuke food just like them. You understand? You're going to be hunted just like they are in that day. And the crazy thing about it, you're going to be hunted first before any of these other nations of people, man. You understand? Continue on, Mighty King Bible Control.
Con, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
How many brothers and sisters feel that right there, man? You understand? That the sorrows, man, everything we going through, man, the Lord is going to take that away from us. Most High is going to take that away from us. You understand? And you know, why would you not want rulership? You understand? You're not in rulership of nothing on this earth, man. You understand? That's why you still paying bills in your house, still paying rent, still paying a mortgage, still got to work for these people. You understand? Pay you what they want to pay you, how they want to pay you. You understand? You wouldn't want that to be switched around for you, so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, and Seminole Indian man and woman. You wouldn't want that switched around, you know what I'm saying? And now be switched around where we could be in that rulership. If you don't want that, you a fool, man. You understand? You a fool. If you don't want that, you really don't really love the Most High and Yahweh Shai, man. That's who he coming back for. You understand? That's only who the Lord dealing with, man. That's all who the Lord's been dealing with. Through the lineage and everything that goes all the way back up to Adam, all the way down to Shem, all the way down to Arphaxad, all the way down to Abraham, all the way down to Isaac, all the way down to Jacob. You know, this is the real thing right here. You understand? Cain, let me get Isaiah 52:1.
Khan. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, and verse 1, and it reads, Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
And that's playing upon tables right there, man. You understand? And this is talking about the rise now that's going to be put on Israel. This is the rise of Jacob right here. You understand? Come together, come back together and put on put on our garments, man. Come back and let's attain and come back to the tender and delicateness, man. You understand? Let's come back together in unity, man, how we once were. You understand? And that time is coming. You know, that time has definitely come where we're you know, the 1/3, the 144,000, you know, we're gonna see that. You know, we see it now when we all get together in unity for the feast days. You understand? When brothers get together in unity and do camps in the streets, man. That's a glimpse of the kingdom right there, man. That's a glimpse of tender and delicateness that we have among each other. You understand? Let me get real quick. Let me get let me get Ezekiel. Let me get Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 24. Okay.
Khan. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, and verse 24, and it reads, For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and he shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you.
That is so beautiful right there, man.
Khan,
you understand? The Lord is going to sprinkle that clean water on us, man. You understand? And he's sprinkling it right now even as we speak for those that are waking up, man. That are truly sincere of this truth of the Most High, man. Fully sincere of leaving the ways of this wicked kingdom alone, man. Turning the back on this wicked kingdom and now facing directly to the Most High. You understand? This is the rise right here of Jacob right here, man. This is the beautiful rise right here, man. You understand? Like how Scar said, the dawn of the new era. No, this is going to be the new era. And not only the new era, but this is going to be the original era. To the way it was from the beginning. You understand? Until we disobeyed the Most High. You understand? Read that one more time for me, Baba Kushal.
Khan. For I will take from you among you the heathen and gather you out of all the countries and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also.
Right there, man. That is beautiful right there, man. You understand? All our ways that we are following today, Islam, you understand, 5%, 3%, you know, Jehovah's Witness, Catholics, you understand, the Mormons, you know, Egyptology, the Trinity, you understand? the Lord is going to take us away from the idols, man. The idols that were forced upon our people, man, to the reason why it's been planted down generations and generations today of our people, man. You understand? Our people are today just following freely because they have no knowledge. You understand? But it goes all the way back up to our beautiful brothers and sisters, you understand, that had to be forced. That had to be forced through death. You understand? That had to be forced with their life being taken away from them to follow these idols today, man, that has nothing to do with the Most High. You understand? Taking us out of all the countries of the nations. That right there shows that we are scattered everywhere on the four corners of the earth. We're scattered everywhere. We're truly scattered. So the Lord is saying, I'm gonna take you throughout all the countries of the earth. As I said before, every stench of land, of landmass that's on this earth, that where we're at, the Lord is taking us away from it. You understand? We're scattered among the heathen. You understand? So this right here is a beautiful motive from the Most High, showing that y'all coming back on the rise, man. I'm gonna put y'all back up on the rise. Let me get real quick, King. Let me get Romans 11 and verse 26, King.
Come on, King. This is the book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse number 26. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins. As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sake, but as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sake.
For the Father's sake, man. You understand? We are the elect at the end of the day, man. We are the original elect, man. These are the things that are going to be taken back, that are going to be taken away from us, given to us by Esau. You understand? All the destruction of everything of how we live today, man, thinking we living righteous, we thinking we living good, we thinking we living all right because we got some money in the bank. You know, you got some money on your account. You know, you got a job at the end of the day. You know, brothers and sisters think they living good. You understand? Not even knowing the root behind that, man, that's getting ready to sit up here and fall. You know, the real livestock, man, the real life being is coming back to the Most High. You understand? Of the Most High is the reason why you have the job. You know, why you have a bank account. You know, and really, that's really nothing at the end of the day, if most importantly, you're not woken up by the Most High. You understand? So none of this really means nothing at the end of the day, man, if you're not woken up by the Most High. You understand? So the time is coming, man. The time is coming. You understand? Let me get 2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 2, King. This is the rise, man. This is the rise of Jacob. You understand? The fall of Esau. You understand? Esau, you're finished, man. You're done. You understand? Your rulership is about to be out the window, man. You understand? You're going to actually be the pot of the piss and the window to throw it out of. You understand? That's Esau right there. You're about to be thrown out, man. You're about to be tomorrow's trash, man. You're about to be yesterday's trash. You understand? And the beautiful brothers and sisters of Israel, man, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, they're the ones through the Most High, through Yahweh Shai, that's going to throw you out. You understand? Bring that out, Mighty King Baba Kushaw.
Khan, this is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse number 2. And Absalom rose up early and stood aside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him and said,
Nah,
Oh,
Salakia
what's
King, give me 2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 2.
2 Samuel chapter 15, 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 2?
Khan King.
Yeah, that's the one I'm on, King. 2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 2. Unless you want 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 2.
Yeah, Khan, Salakia King.
No, Khan, all praises, King.
I
This is the
confuse
book
it
of
sometimes. I'm sorry,
Nah,
Salakia.
Khan, no,
Salakia
no,
Israel. Salakia,
Khan,
brothers and sisters.
no problem, King. The book of 1 Samuel chapter number 15 and verse number 2, and it reads, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass.
That's plain, man. You
Con,
understand? We're gonna get we're gonna get, this is spiritually the rise of Israel right here. This is spiritually the rise of Jacob. You understand? And that time, that time is coming, man. That time is coming. You understand? That time is definitely coming, man. We're gonna be like Nat Turner. You understand? We're gonna be like Brother Nat. When you actually look at that movie, The Birth of a Nation, you understand, to any brother and sister that's seen that movie there, man, that part right there there was a part there that was very deep, that the brother, before he went on the rampage through the spirit of the Most High to kill his slave master, to start killing other slave masters, to get together, brothers, to go out there and avenge for what they were doing to them. You understand? He was actually reading in the Bible before he went on his rampage through the spirit of the Most High. You understand? He was reading 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 2 and 3. So that time is coming. That time is coming, man. And it's not going to just be plain like it was with Nat Turner. You understand? When you deal with us, man, you're going to see us in a whole different form. You understand? You're going to see us you're going to see us with spiritual powers, man. It ain't going to be like, how Nat was, how some of the brothers that were with Nat was cutting off heads and all that at the end of the day and stabbing the heart through the chest. Nah, man, we're going to give spiritual power, man, that, brothers can sit up here, man, and just grab an Edomite and rip him in half like the Hulk. You understand? Gonna light them up just with their hands. You understand? Like Thor. That's gonna sit up here like the elder say best, man. I'm gonna zap you, then re-zap your ass back just to zap you down again. You understand? That time is coming. You understand? Let me get my last precept, Mighty King. Let me get a beautiful classic as well. Let's get, based off of the title of the rise of Jacob, the fall of Esau and the rise of Jacob. Let me get 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9, King.
Khan, King. The book of 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9 in the Apocrypha, and it reads, For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
One more time for the road, King.
Khan, 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Esau is the end of this world right here, man. Jacob is the beginning of the new kingdom that's going to follow right after this kingdom right here. And after this kingdom is destroyed, man, once the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of the Most High, that's going to restore the kingdom only for us, man, there's no kingdom after that. There's no kingdom after that, man. You understand? So with that, I want to give all beautiful praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, B'Shem HaMashiach, Womalak Yahweh Shai. I would like to give brothers and sisters that's on the live right now, I would like to give y'all a quick 30 seconds to sit up here and anoint yourself as we go out with the beautiful prayer before closing down the live, closing down the class and everything. Really want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High of everything. You know, I never thought that I would be doing this right here. You know, as you know, the Most High say, many are called, but few are chosen. You know, you have not called me, but I've called you. You understand? You know, I formed you. You know, even while you was in the belly, I chose you to be a prophet. You know, so to see, you know, all my beautiful brothers, man, that, you know, are still in this truth, still being diligent, you know, still representing for the Most High, 10 toes down, you know, not giving up for anything. As the beautiful captains say all the time, just continue to keep pushing, man. It's a very dumb way to turn back into the ways of this world, not where we at now. You understand? We're in too deep right now. You understand? It will make no sense to turn back around and do that, you know. And I mean, what are you going to come back into in this world? What are you going to come back to in this kingdom, man? You understand? To turn back around and be a real nigga. You understand? When you're already on the processes of knowing that you're a real king. You understand? Sisters that are deep into this now, like, you know, what are you going to go back into the world to be? You understand? Why would you want to go back into the world to be what? A baddie? A bad bitch? You know what I'm saying? To be a independent woman. You understand? When you're already deep in the process of knowing that you're a daughter of Zion. You understand? You know, to the children that is in this that's in this truth as well. You understand? You know, to those who are mothers and fathers, man, and got children in this truth at the end of the day, man, hey, man, you know, as the scriptures say in Proverbs 22:6, man, you know, bring them up in the ways of this truth, man, that they don't depart from it. You know, that they don't depart from this, man, that they are going to want to stay on 10 toes down like their father and their mother, man. You understand? You know, and our work and duty, man, is to, you know, guide our women, you know, brothers that are husbands, man. You know, we know the motives is to guide our women back to the Most High, guide our children to the Most High. You know, when we out here on the highways and byways, we're guiding our people back to the Most High. And that's for those who want to hear. You understand? That's for those who really want to sit up here and they really want to hear and they're sincere about it. You know, so I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, you know, to the brothers and sisters on the live tonight, to the beautiful brother Ashiar, man, beautiful reading for me, man, to brother Captain and, you know, all the other brothers, man, to put together the videos, to put together the titles and, you know, you know, the pictures and everything, the titles and whatnot, you know, all praises to everything, man. All praises to the brothers and, you know, that, you know, with the mindset and the ideas, you know, the skills given to them by the Most High, man, to, you know, make these beautiful videos, you know, et cetera, man. You understand? All praises and to all praises to the Most High, you know, for brothers and sisters that, you know, just happen to just, you know, see this video and, you know, through the beautiful, through the, you know, the scriptures of the edification and everything, man, that, you know, they start to achieve of reading the Bible and, you know, getting the understanding, getting the spiritual milk and food and understanding, man, of what the fear of the Most High is to receive the knowledge, you know, and, you know, continue to depart, man, and get as many as we can, man, before time is up. You understand? And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Wamalak Yahweh Shai. HOI to the chariots fly. Don't scream it if you don't mean it. You understand? And we're gonna keep pushing. Like the captain say, no surrender, no retreat, man. You understand? And with that, I wanna sign this off with the beautiful, the Most High's prayer. So if everybody, can y'all please get up right now and face towards the east as we bring out the beautiful prayer for the Most High. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Mashiach, Momalak, Yahweh Shai, Shemai, Yasharala, Yahweh, Allah Haynawa, Yahweh, Akkad, Shemai, Yasharala, Yahweh, Allah Haynawa, Yahweh, Akkad, Shemai, Yasharala, Yahweh, Allah Haynawa, Yahweh, Akkad, Shemai, Yasharala, Yahweh, Allah Haynawa, Yahweh, Blessings, O Lord, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Hashem, Mashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shai. As we say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew tongue, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Lakwika, Taba'ah, Ratizaka, Hayah, Ashah, Baharatizah, Kawal, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathananawa, Laham, Ho, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Wa'ala, Tabanayanawa, Bangasayawam, Abal, Abashaynawa, Mayam, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wahata Paraf, Layawamyam, Amen. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shai, Hom Yasharala, Shalom, all praises, hallelujah, 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 all praises.
All praises. Mighty lesson, King, mighty lesson, all praises.
The written account scribe. It was written.
The underbar.
Written accounts. It was written. The written account scribe. So shall it be written, so shall it be done. It's a beautiful thing to see the witness, the fall of your enemies, especially when brothers come together in unity. The book of Psalms chapter 133 and verse 1. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, bringing us back to our dignity. Moving in the righteous spirit with integrity. Luke chapter 12 verse 2. It was written, nothing is covered that shall not be revealed, which was hitting roughly. Paraphrasing the scripture, my main concern, we must learn biblical facts for lack of better terms. Know about our history and the genealogy. Families, watch out for the signs and the prophecies. Weird mysteries, the artifacts and sculptures. The iconic paintings stolen from culture. Folks, one day these heathens gonna be our slaves and serve the Israelites. And Judah says the word, you heard? The written account scribe. It was written. The written account scribe. It was written. The written account scribed, so shall it be written, so shall it be done. There's an A side, there's a B side, both can relate. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 through 8. To everything there's a purpose to the season, the cause and the effect, to the rhymes and the reason. There's a time to be born, there's a time to die, a time to plant or pluck up, that's the reason why. A time to kill and a time to heal.